I'm just gonna start this video out and just say right off the bat, this is another one of those unscripted videos. I wouldn't necessarily call this an update video, but some of this I'm kind of like making up as I go. But today in this video, I just want to talk about a couple things that I feel I need to mention. Uh, Ironically enough, today, at least as I'm recording this, October 20th, marks 8 years since I started my first YouTube channel, which is not this one, obviously, but I guess that's not super important and kind of like might sound a little backwards in some of the things I'm going to mention. But anyway, uh, I was kind of thinking back to past couple years or so, and maybe even beyond that with some of my older channels. But I feel like something that I feel like I've maybe been in denial of for a while is a lacking of motivation in making YouTube content and just being here on YouTube, I guess. And I feel like, I need to elaborate on that. I've said this kind of stuff not really publicly before, but a lot of my videos that I try on, I don't feel like get nearly as much traction in comparison to the videos that I don't try on. A lot of those tend to be just random shit posts that I made in like 20 minutes at most, as opposed to videos I've personally written an entire script for and written an entire, not written, like recorded the entire script and me recording it, and then editing everything together. And sometimes that can take a few weeks to do, and then I release the video. And those videos don't get views. And it's demotivating. It's a demotivating factor of making content. And I do all the steps necessary, I feel, to get it out there that this video exists, and nobody bats an eye. But if I make a video called Reese's Puffs 10 Hours, it gets nearly 200,000 views. And ironically enough, that is what happens. And I hate that video with a burning passion. Um, Motivation, it helps me, continue doing what I want to do. Doing stuff on YouTube is a stuff I've been wanting to do and have been doing for, again, 8 years. I wasn't nearly as consistent in the beginning. I maybe didn't put as much effort in the beginning. But now that the effort is there and I'm doing stuff that I personally enjoy, it almost feels like I'm back to square one. Because obviously all YouTubers start out small. And I'm not saying I want to be a big YouTuber. I really just want to treat YouTube like a side thing, like I always have. If it makes me a few quick bucks, then sure. But I don't want to be like the big ones who have the ability and I guess the money to have YouTube be their career. And it really doesn't help when I don't have the motivation to do a lot of things on YouTube. You might have even noticed within the past week that I haven't posted any videos with the exception of the latest episode of my Subspace Emissary series, um, which might even get you thinking. The week before, I said I'm going to start uploading 3 Let's Plays in a week. And obviously, I have posted none this week, and it's going to be Friday in less than an hour as of me recording this. Um, so, what's up with that? I have recorded 2 of them. I have them uploaded. They're private, though, so you can't view them no matter what. Um, and I don't know if it's procrastination or motivation, but it's a mix of both, I guess, if anything. Because I've been procrastinating because I'm not motivated to do this stuff. And even when I have enough free time to do something, I'm just like, no, not right now. I want to do this instead. And really, whatever this is could wait. But I'm not really in the proper mindset with certain things. Even when I plan stuff to do on YouTube, whether it be a stream, a video series, working on something, I'm noticing a tendency of mine to back out, basically. Um, I want to say it was in September. I was intending on doing a long stream of me playing every Mario Party board. And the first board I was supposed to do of all of them was DK's Jungle Adventure from Mario Party 1, and I never ended up finishing it. And I said I'll do this another time or something along those lines, and then never did. This is a bad habit of mine that even goes back to last year. The 602 speedrun race in June of 2021. I ended up dropping out of that because I never really gave myself the time to do it. But though I guess to be fair, I was in school at the time, and a lot of that stuff I couldn't really do after school because there just wasn't enough time left in my day. And there were some things going on in certain weekends, like my birthday was one of those weekends. Me getting my COVID vaccine was another one of those weekends, which I never even ended up getting sick from, as I expect. Unlike what I expected, because I expected to get sick from the second shot, and then I didn't. Um, and really, there's a lot that happens, and I just don't do. That's just to name a few examples. A lot of it, was like speed running. I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore, and I forfeit basically, and then I don't pick myself back up like I intend. And am I really to blame? Uh, it just feels like there's not really. I'm not blaming anyone else. No, of course not. But I don't think. Um, I don't. How do I word this? I just don't feel like everything is because I'm just procrastinating for the hell of it. But I'm procrastinating for. I'm more so demotivated for a reason. Um, let's rewind to 2017. Some of you knew me, some of you didn't. And this was around the time I was like, my content was kind of rebranding slash transitioning from uh I don't even know, probably like Roblox or something, to primarily Geometry Dash. And when I was playing nothing but Geometry Dash, I was getting like no views, but during this, I guess, transition period in the first half of 2017, um I was still getting decent views in my streams, which I did very consistently. I would often do streams on I would basically do streams every Friday night and then a few extras here and there as well. And these streams probably had an average of like, I don't know, 4 viewers, which doesn't sound like much, but it was enough for me to like stay motivated to continue the stream, because there's people in the chat, for crying out loud, and that's really the bare minimum I need to continue a stream. Nowadays I do a stream and I end it less than an hour after starting it, maybe like 40 minutes at the very most, because I can't manage a single viewer in any of that time. And there's sometimes I stream for 2 hours and I'm just like, you know what, I'm not gonna get a viewer, I give up then. But then a viewer shows up just then, and I'm just like, okay, maybe I'll continue. And those end up being decently length streams. Streaming is something I've been enjoying doing since the end of 2016 when I started doing it, but it's gotten less motivating, which is why I don't really do it anymore. And I want to, and you might even remember last fall I tried to bring back weekly Friday streams, but I didn't really have an idea with what I was doing, so it didn't end up working. And I don't really know what I should do moving forward. There's a lot of things I've tried, and there's a lot of things that I haven't been able to do for reasons beyond my fault. And there's a lot of things I just don't want to do because they're just not what I should do, I guess. Um, but I guess moving forward, I really don't think I should be making promises, and I feel like this is something I say a lot, but I could be wrong. It feels like something I should have been saying a lot, and I haven't. Um, but I feel like there are some minor changes I should do as of now. Um, and this isn't anything I've discussed on like the community tab or anything, but even adding the join button, I feel like probably wasn't the best move on my end, and there's not really any penalty to me adding it, but I don't feel like it's really catching anybody's eyes. So even though I've removed it before, I feel like it didn't really make sense to add it again, especially since things like early access to videos and stuff like that doesn't really matter when I hardly upload to begin with anymore. I might remove that again. I probably will just for now. And if I add it again, I'll give it another update. But another thing that's kind of on my mind is if I should like take a break from YouTube or something. And there's more to it than just motivation in that case. Um, Now, for those who don't know me that well, I just graduated high school this past June, 4 months ago, about, and I am not in college. And the plan was August of 2023 is when I would start college. But things change. And so now the plan is January of 2023, which is in like 2.5 months. Um, so I'm assuming I'm going to end up there in January, and that's going to eat up basically all of my time, I guess. I'm not really going to have time to make really any, not any, but like a lot of YouTube content anymore. And I feel like, this is just, stuff that's like fact of life. And so I do technically have time to do stuff there. I have free time, weekends, etc. But it's just, I don't think I want an extra layer of optional stuff on my plate. Because with YouTube, you know, having a channel, there's a lot you have to consider. There's the content, there's the stuff within the content, like the scripting and the recording and the editing and all that. And that all takes time, time I may or may not have. Um, and I don't think really pushing myself is going to work because that's just not going to be something I can do. There's a lot of stuff I would like to do, but I don't. And I feel like sometimes I can't because I don't have the time or this, that, or the other reason. Um, some things really aren't my fault. Like when I disappeared for a week last year, um, you might remember that at the end of November of 2021, I had disappeared for a little over a week. I know people were concerned, and this was around the time I was supposed to be doing like the weekly Friday streams, and I did obviously come back, but I didn't have the chance to tell anyone why I was gone. Just as a refresher, in case anyone forgot, I was, I guess, kind of having like a depressive episode and ended up going to the mental hospital. I guess like precautiously, if that's a word. Um, but I ended up making an update video on that and said, and that one of the first things I did when I got home was saying to people on Twitter that I'm okay and I'll explain everything once I get a chance. So I did. Um, YouTube wise, though, it's demotivating when another thing I've even noticed is at the end of February, I reached 1,000 subscribers, and I've only reached a little over 100 since then, and it's almost November, which is like a 9 month difference. Even things like, comparing this to even last year, um, one of the first in May of 2021, I reached 500 subs. I know at the end of 2020, I reached 200 subs, and 3 months before that, 100. And it took me 9 months to get to it from 500 to 1,000, and it took another 9 months to go from 1,000 to 1,100. And I think it's interesting, mostly because I feel like I've been more active this year than last year. Last year, I was always saying how inactive I was. Maybe I was just taking it for granted. And I'm not really gonna. It's hard to jump to conclusions right now, but I feel like one of the best approaches for me to do, maybe just take a break or something along those lines. Maybe not necessarily like take a complete break. Maybe I'll just stop making content for a while. Maybe stream very occasionally. I'll still be active on my other channels, like the Channel of Egg and probably Solar Lime if there's something to post there at any point. But um, moving forward for the time being, I feel like my best approach might be to leave you guys updated on the community tab, and I'll be removing the join button for now, which isn't going to affect anyone because nobody has joined anyway. But in any event, um, I just want to thank you guys for whatever support may or may not be there. If you listen to this whole video, I appreciate it. If not, then I rest my case. Um, with the things I've said, but this is just some stuff I wanted to get off my chest. So now that I did, I'll leave it at that. Leave your thoughts in the comments or whatever. And in any event, that's all for today. Thank you for watching, if you did.